What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett with my guest co-host, Jessica.
Hello.
As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys can help us get there.
And also, the little bell, if you click that, you can get notifications saying that there's a new video posted.
This is our Loki episode 3 review here on RANTS.
This
halfway through now.
These episodes are killing me, literally, because I want to binge watch and I can't binge watch. They leave you on the edge of your seat on purpose.
You and I are different when it comes to that. I actually don't like the binge watch. I actually like to maybe, I like that. I'm an 80s kid. I like growing up in the, waiting till the next week, anticipation. Water cooler like stuff. You sit around water cooler and you talk about this week's episode of Loki.
No, binge watch. But anyways, enough on that.
Look, the first time I watched this episode, my initial reaction was extremely positive. I thought it was really good. I really did. I thought from beginning to end, I thought it was funny. I thought it had its little quirks and its little turns. I didn't think it was perfect by any stretch of the imagination. The last 2 episodes, I have really, really talked about how great the dialogue has been and kind of how meaningful it actually was. This go around did not feel that way. It felt like the dialogue felt forced. It felt like some of the things were just out of place.
And plus, it was like more. It was good. It was bad. It was good. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Oh, it was good.
Yeah, it's like I agree with you.
It gave you like an up and down scale.
Yeah, it started off really with action. When Sylvie breaks into, or Lady Loki breaks into the the timekeeper's sanctum and is about to go kill him, and there's a lot of actions with her going against the Minutemen. Yeah, but there's a lot of action with her fighting Loki and her fighting Minutemen. It was a really cool scene, and then it goes from that to another, I thought, good thing where they're on the run. And then after that, it goes to this like lull where it's like a lot of dialogue, and it's really not interesting dialogue. Really, to be honest with you, that one scene I felt like was in there. All that dialogue, they were trying to explain. He was telling about his life, she was telling about her life, but that whole scene to me just felt like it was there just to bring out the bi part.
You want to know something? I am not a... Is this Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I'm not a fan of Marvel. And to tell you the God honest truth, I did not hear anything that they were talking about.
It just felt like blah, 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 blah,
That's
blah,
exactly
blah.
what I heard, because,
It was an interesting dialogue.
I was like,
any stretch of the imagination.
And Brett told me, he's like, "Did you understand?" I'm like,
and it's like
no, I didn't hear nothing, because all I heard was I just saw the mouths moving. I wasn't listening to what they were saying because I couldn't care less.
Yeah, and it's like everybody's talking today about buy Loki, and I'm like, that's kind of a misconception in a lot of different ways, because this feels like it's basing its story off of that Ragnarok comment or comic back in the day about how when he turns into Lady Loki and so forth along with it feels a lot like that. It feels like it's going down that way.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. So.
But let me just go through the things I dislike, because there's a lot of it.
Make it short.
All right. They get to Lamentus 1, and they're fighting in that little tent thing, and little piece of a meteor comes through, and then they run to this like shed, and they're running for their lives. Meteors falling all around them. They almost die, and then they get in there.
That's the suspense I kind of like.
Yeah, and then they get to this shed, and they're like, truce. Now we're just going to walk outside, and we're going to spend like most of this episode just walking and talking yes, we only have 12 hours to live, and yes, we got to get to this little arc thing before this planet explodes. But we're gonna walk and we're gonna talk and we're just gonna have these little moments.
Just think,
it felt really weird.
If they would have ran to the ark,
they would have made it.
They would have flipping made it. They would have saved half the people.
That's the way I kind of felt with it. Like, I felt like that was so stupid. I felt like if you're gonna have any episode where you're gonna get to really know the characters, you're gonna either cut that junk really short. But walking and talking when a planet is exploding, and literally, they run from the tent, things are falling all around them. Then they come out of the tent, and then they just walk the rest of the way, nothing falls around them.
It might be in the background over here, it might be over here, but they're just nonchalantly walking. I know if I was on the planet being pummeled by meteors, my fat butt is not going to be walking. I'm going to be running as fast as I can to get off that dang planet. Duh.
And I felt like, and I'll tell you another thing that really, really bothered me is, you think back to the Loki movies, or not Loki movies, but Thor movies. The one thing that Loki hated about Thor was he felt like Thor was given everything. That he just was a drunk. He was, he didn't take things very seriously. And then you have this episode. You have them about to die. And, they've got to, like I said, they've got to get on this ark to get off this planet that's exploding. And what is the first thing he does? He's like, no, I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to sing some songs. And I'm like, okay, what is he up to on this one?
And get thrown off the train.
He wasn't up to anything. He was just literally getting drunk and getting thrown off the train for literally no reason whatsoever. If they would have got on that, they could have hijacked the ark and they could have taken off and everything would have been fine. But no, it felt weird because then his excuse to Sylvie, Lady Loki, was that
that was my plan.
Yeah, well, he was like, I'm a hedonist. Okay, where did this Loki come from? Because the Loki that we knew from the MCU is the Loki of being 2 steps ahead of everyone, or at least thinking he is 2 steps ahead. But this one just feels like he's just don't care. And I keep thinking to myself, okay, does he not care because he is trying to, because he feels like his life is meaningless, or is he up to something else? And if he's not up to something bigger, I'm going to be really, really pissed about this. What?
Maybe that's not really Loki.
Well, it's a variant of Loki.
No, I mean, hear me out. Maybe it is a clone of a Loki.
Well, I mean,
like a clone of Loki.
Now you want to talk? You want to talk?
You know how?
Well, you want to talk about one that I don't believe is actually Loki. Is I don't believe Sylvie's Loki. Okay, I don't believe that she's Loki because, I mean, look, she looks like they keep saying the word enchanting. Kind of like, I don't know, the enchantress that got her powers from Loki that just happened to have like a little broken horn like what Loki does, like in certain versions. So I'm like, that actually, she reminds me of that.
I don't know who you're talking
It's from the comics, but it just, I don't know. That's who she reminds me of. That's who I think she is. I feel like she's too different. I think they're going to make her into a love interest of Loki, and it's not going to be his clone.
If they make a love interest with them, I'm going to be
alternate version.
Because
they are. Like, you can tell it just by the way that they
act. I know, and I don't like it.
I feel like it's kind of out of place to a certain extent, too.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't do. You don't do that.
Well, but see, it would be like doing it with yourself, but it's not. I don't really believe it's that. That's the reason why I say they're going to make a love interest. They're not going to.
If I had a sister, you have a love interest with her, too.
I know. Well.
No, you'd be in trouble, Mr. Hoover.
But what I'm saying is there's no way it's going to be his sister, or not his sister, but his clone or different version of him, simply because they're going to make it a love interest, and then that would be really weird. But I mean, that was like some of my problems that I had with it. I hated the 2070 clothes. Like, it looked so stupid.
I didn't have any
problems like so with 80s.
It, but I just didn't like how it went up, down, up, down, up, down. And then the last bit of it, where they see the ark explode, and all of a sudden Loki just stands there, and she runs off. Where's she running off to? When everybody else is
she's like, hey, this world, you just doomed us.
She's like, everybody else is standing there watching the ark come down, and she runs off. But where is she running off
and
to?
He says the words, well, don't worry, the TVA will find us. Really, you mean the TVA that could not find her in the very beginning because they had no idea how time worked? Even though that they're, I don't know, working for the timekeepers, which now just feels so fraudulent in so many different ways.
We were so close to see them too. Dang it.
Hey, you know what? Sylvie, she made a really big reference where, they're talking and he's like, how do you enchant people? And she says, well, the really strong ones, I have to go into their memories, and I have to bring out specific, situations that they're in.
She went into that lady's head before she became a TVA agent. Now that's the clue right there.
Yeah, they're all variants, and they don't know it.
And they are.
Spoiler alert, yes.
And that's. And we find out that, what's his name? Owen Wilson's character. Mobius. He likes ski jets in the 1990s because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
He's from the 1990s. He liked jet skis because that's what he liked when he was back in the 1990s.
See, they thought they were.
So they're taking people like that and bringing them in and saying, oh, you were created here. This is your whole life.
Basically. Yeah.
But they had a whole life on Earth.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know it, which is wrong. That's wrong to do somebody like that. Oh,
it's extremely wrong.
That's like taking you and just, hey, we're gonna erase your memory
and then make you a soldier or something.
And
it's it would just be really messed up.
You can remember maybe one or two things from your life that you like. Maybe like your Animaniacs cartoons.
Yeah.
And your and your Dr.
Yeah, because
Pepper,
that's exactly what is kind of happening with Mobius in a way. Is he's remembering specific things that he enjoyed when he was back on Earth. So, I mean, it's really kind of a big thing. I really figure they're going with the King the Conqueror kind of thing at the very end of it.
Who's that?
But I just feel like there's the next 3 episodes are going to take a really big turn. And everything's not going to be like what they seem. And I kind of was already getting that way because I'm like, these TVA agents, if they were really, like, I guess, I don't know. The only comparison I can make is like the clone troopers in Star Wars. Like, they were bred to fight. And then you get these TVA members that can't do anything for anybody at any time. I mean, they feel like are just useless. They feel like random people that you get off the street and be like, go over there and save the world. No, that's not how that works.
And guess what? We can't watch the next episode until next Wednesday.
What did you think of that? What would you grade this episode from 1 to 10?
6.2.
First watching, I'd have gave it an 8.
Woo! Where's you been?
Yeah.
You wasn't paying attention.
But now that I've watched it, I would say more like a 6. I would give it about a 6.
I'm a 6.2. The only reason I give it a 6.2 is because of the up and down and up.
I felt like there was more down than up.
I don't do well with up and down. That's why I kept pausing it.
I felt like the acting on it was really bad at times.
That's why I kept pausing it, because I was like, I was getting bored. I'm like, I need to get something else on because I couldn't do it. But the good scenes were really good. When they were in the city trying to get to the Ark, fighting the woods and everything exploded and everything. I like that kind of stuff, but
yeah, but that part didn't even make it.
Walking and talking. Oh, how you doing?
That part.
I'm good. How are you? I'm good.
That part.
Let's just walk and see if we die today.
Yeah, but that part didn't even make any sense if you really, really think about it, because the gate's shut. No one can go in. There's all this pandemonium and things that's going on around them. And then you have these cops are like, you know what? We're going to be dying in 20 seconds. So we're going to use our last moments to go over there and stop, these two guys. Why? And then at the very end, you see that cop just fall to his knees. Oh no, our last ditch effort to survive this is over. And I'm thinking, dude, you weren't even on it. Like, why are you upset? Like, everybody's so shocked and oh no, they weren't on it to begin with, so why did they care? They were fixing to die in 20 seconds.
I just want to know what's going to happen.
I think it was, I won't go so far as say I think it was garbage. There was some interest, there was that big reveal, about the TVA agents. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean,
it was very slow.
Yeah.
For me.
I think we learned that she's not Loki, a version of Loki. She doesn't like being called Variant. She doesn't like being called Loki. I wonder why. Because she's actually not Loki. That's the way I kind of look at it. But overall, guys, let us know what y'all think down below.
Please.
Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.
Bye.